Oh, there you go. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. You may have been thinking I should actually have been shouting and screaming. Why couldn't you hear me at all? Because sometimes your joy goes so high that it just comes back to zero again. And that's what has happened to me. Hi, I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me are the two people who lost the guessing game, Michael Vaughan and Joy Bhattacharjya. Because Chennai, one second, before... Just what did I say? What was my score guess? Okay, we don't need to say what my score guess was because we can just show you. We'll just show you because Chennai got exactly that, 188. That's right, and that's how it's done, my boys. That's how it is done. I mean, Chennai must be saying, well, we had to score the runs, but I'm like, it doesn't matter because I predicted it. It's my game. Be cool, be cool. I will let you both congratulate me before we go any further on the show.
Gaurav, I mean, I'm okay. I speak on the game and all that. You are trolling England's most successful test captain ever. You realize that?
Mr. Vaughan, would you like to say something?
Well done.
Ooh. I feel like it's a trick. When Michael says something which is absolutely straight, I feel like this is a trick.
Well done.
If any of the viewers see a red dot on my forehead, right, from a gun's laser, just let me know. Sniper attack!
It's lucky that you are supposed to be locked up in Mumbai, because if you're out on the streets, I'd get my snipers to clear you out. The saying in the UK is every dog has its day.
The saying in my neighborhood is... Well, there's some old dogs who showed new tricks and some new ones who had a lot of bite. And that's what's happened in the first half of this game. Remember, Chennai put into bat, as one does in Mumbai. That's right. Sanju Samson won the toss and told MS and team that they have to have a bat. And 188 is where they've got. It's been an interesting innings. It's been kind of an up and down innings. They had one opener who couldn't get going. They had one opener in Faf who really could get going. Then they had Moin, and then as you go down, it's really a tale of two cities, isn't it, Michael, for Chennai? Some who really got the strike rate, and some who were just struggling at a run a ball.
Yeah, it's bizarre when 188 is a decent score, but they've kind of stumbled across 188. It's never been an innings where you felt that one individual was going to go on and get the big. Just look at the scores there, just cameos, small cameos, 33 being the highest score. From Faf. Then you got Merriam with a 26, Suresh Raina with 18, Rayudu with 27. So small cameos. We were talking about that at the halfway stage about can they get to a big score with cameos? Well, they've got to you'd probably say just below par score with a few cameos. If Butler and Co and Sanju Samson get going and one individual gets beyond 50, I'm not too sure whether it's going to be enough.
Yeah, there was a small error, I must acknowledge, on the scoreboard there. It was Faf was not 33 of 47, he was 33 of 17. And on the other hand, Rituraj Gaikwad was not 10 of 3, he was 10 of 13. So that's what that was. So just view it with that. Our apologies for that. But Joy, that's the thing, right? I mean, Michael and I spoke about this during the Combox, where he was saying if you want to get 200, one player's got to get 70, 80. I said Chennai's business model is looking like more kind of 6 players getting 30 odd, right? And that's exactly what they've done. And I think Michael's description of it is perfect. It looks like they've stumbled across this 188.
Absolutely. Just hold on a second.
What is he doing?
Wait, I'm just searching for the elephant in the room. Because the elephant in the room is Dhoni, 18 of 17, strike rate of 105. Okay, yep. Jadeja, 8 of 7, strike rate of 114. Ravi, and of course, we have Raina with 18 of 15 with a strike rate of 120.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the sum of it. The total number of balls they faced was 17, 7, 24, and 539. 40 balls. 1/3 of the innings was faced by a group of people who had a combined strike rate of 117. All great cricketers, all guys who made Chennai win 3 championships, all fantastic. But look at those strike rates. Look, on the other hand, at Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali showed genuine intent. Faf du Plessis, he came out. Faf du Plessis, Moeen Ali, all of them knew they had a job to do. They went and they did it. They took risks. Look at the way Faf walked across his stumps and took risks. Look at the way Moeen Ali blazed away. Even Rituraj Gaikwad, he knew the gun was on his head. If he didn't score, he had to take his chances and get out. The only one in the later order who showed that, I thought, was Raidu showed it to a certain extent. Raidu showed intent. Sam Curran showed intent. And they were lucky that they had this really long batting lineup. So, they reached 188. But the fact of the matter is the three guys who've given Chennai so much success over the last, decade and a bit have been the guys who pulled Chennai down today. This total should have been 215.
Yeah.
We've got to be fair, because yesterday we criticised KL Rahul for his 61 off 50, and we said at the halfway stage, and we weren't talking in hindsight after the game, we said at the halfway stage, that innings may cost them the game. Yeah. Now, we've got to be completely honest. 18 off 17 from MS Dhoni may cost his team the game. In the situation that he came out to bat, I know he's a legend of the game, and I've loved watching him, but you can clearly see he's not what he was. He's a bit aged, and he's clearly not had too much time in the middle. But those kind of knocks on a ground where the 200 pluses are generally required, it may be that small innings from MS Dhoni may cost his team the game. He'll have to use all his tricks and his skills behind the stumps with his tactics, getting all the angles correct to try and make sure that the talking point after the game isn't about his innings when he had to bat.
Yeah, there is the thing about MS's batting, right? I mean, MS perhaps right this point in time can't be batting like he did in most of his career, which is, take 8-10 balls and then he's good for the big hits. Joy, his batting style has to adapt to the fact, what's he good at still? He's good with the deflections and, finding the gap, etc., hitting the boundaries. He's very good at converting ones into twos as well. He's perhaps just got to start going early. He can't be 6 from 10 balls like he was today.
A, that. B is that they got away the spinner. They wanted to get rid of this one's last over. Tewatia's last over, because they've just got one from Parag. They wanted to get rid of Tewatia. They knew he wouldn't attack them. So they could get rid of that over. If Tewatia had come on 2-3 overs later, God knows what would have happened. So these are the things that's happened. Guys know now that Dhoni can't. Guys now are trying to bowl up here to Raina. And mind you, this is not a team that has that raw pace. They don't. Chris Morris is the only guy who has a bit of disconcerting bounce who can get it up there. But what I'm trying to say is that this three, the core of what was the greatest strength of Chennai, is now being attacked. And who are the players who are showing? That way I have to give Faf credit, because Faf is showing a very... he's batting like batsmen need to bat now. Sam Curran walks in, the 6 he hits, you can make out. That's what it is today. That's what the game is today. The way Moeen Ali is hitting the ball, that's the game today. And if these guys don't adapt, they will do their team harm. I would say, on the basis of this, Curran needs to go up that order.
Yeah, and Michael, again, like big call, right? Because there's two Dhonis that Chennai needs. They need that talismanic leader, that, the figurehead, the father figure of the team, if you may. And tactically, still behind the stumps, he's amongst the best ever. But we've got to make peace. Chennai has also got to make peace with the fact that he's not the 6-hitter Dhoni anymore. And he can't be. He's 40, right? He's not. So the usage has to change. He's got to change the usage himself, because nobody knows his skill better than he does.
Yeah, well, there's two options. He either goes down the order or he goes up the order. He either goes up the order to get more balls to give him more time to get in and then go, or he goes right down the bottom of the order and he only comes in for the last 2 or 3 overs, and he has to learn the trick of going from ball one. Yeah. T20 cricket, he is the greatest. There's no question. He's the greatest T20 cricket in miles of what he's brought. But, T20 cricket in the last 2 or 3 years has gone up again. It's gone to a different level. I think it's gone probably in the last year in terms of this kind of 220 being possible, and everyone's kind of aiming for that now. MS Dhoni's teams generally have been 160 to 180 teams, and it's almost moved on from that now, and he's got to move. It's hard at his age to move with it, because, he is 40 and his eyes probably aren't anywhere near what they were, and, maybe he's got a little bit of fear, with his strokes these days that he didn't have 10 years ago. Again, that's understandable, but there are certainly ways that he can be such a competitor by either moving up or moving down, because he's so important behind the stumps. He's such a good keeper, such a good tactician. So he has to play. It's just where he positions himself in the bat in order to maximise him for the team's sake.
There you go. We're talking about a captain who we hold as a gold standard of optimizing resources. Now comes the tough question of optimizing himself as a resource. Will he do it? Well, if anybody can do it, it's him. Will it happen or not? We'll have to wait and watch. Right now, let's talk about the Rajasthan bowling effort. And Joy, we're going to talk about Chetan Sakaria. 3 games, and boys kind of laying claim to being MVP for Rajasthan.
Absolutely, and a dropped catch. He started off with a dropped catch, if you remember. So he's been looking like a wicket-taking delivery. See, the thing about it is, once you're the kind of bowler who can get a couple of in-swingers in early, a left-hander who can shape it back early, then you're always leaving the batsman in doubt. You see, if you get no swing at all, if you get no movement back in at all, then batsman can play you one way. He got the ball to come back once or twice. And the moment he did that, they were in that little bit of that two-mindedness about, is it going to go just slant past me or is it going to come back a bit? And the moment you put that doubt, and look, he's been doing fantastically. This Mushtaq Ali, he played 5 matches, 12 wickets, economy rate of 4.9. And mind you, Mushtaq Ali matches also go for fairly high runs, 170, 180 is common. And economy rate of 4.9 is superb. And he has that great gift. He's a wicket taker. Wicket takers are cold, And mind you, I felt today Rajasthan was very unlucky. There were at least 7 to 8 edges that went to the boundary. Lots of big shots which, top edge, side edge, went to the boundary. So they've been very, very unlucky. So given all that, I think his bowling effort was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, Michael, of course, yes, there was all those edges. And then, of course, Chennai could have used that to their advantage. But, when Rahul Tewatia's first over went for runs, when Riyan Parag went for 15 or 16 odd in that one over, you genuinely thought that Rajasthan had, this was a hole for them. That fourth bowler would probably be something that Chennai would attack. But then that's why they bring him on after the second time out, and Tewatia sort of skids one in. And that's something that Chennai just did not exploit. And from Rajasthan, that was tactically pretty clever to just kind of slide that in and get away with it. Because those 4, you thought between Parag and Tewatia that they needed, you thought Chennai would target them for like 50, 55. Ultimately, they've gone for under 40. And that's the difference right there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Sanju Samson looks like he's learning on the job quite quickly. I don't know whether it's Kumar Sangakkara making all the bowlers bowl lots of slow balls, the seamers. It came up on the screen, 42% of the deliveries were slow balls. So they clearly thought about that, using the spinners at the right time. He's clearly got a very good cricket brain, Sanju Samson. He's nipping the bowlers in at the right time. I thought Chris Morris was excellent, because a lot of those edges did come off Morris, and he went for 33 in his 4, got a couple of wickets. His figures could have been a lot better than that. But yeah, Rajasthan, they look like they're having to think out the box, because I don't think they have the star players as some of the teams. And I think it's the only way that they can compete is by surprising the opposition with different angle changes, different variations, and subtle kind of cricket awareness. And that so far is exactly what they've done. But the concern for me is, have they got enough batting to get this kind of score without a Sanju Samson 50 or a Josh Butler 50? Have they got enough? I think it'll take one of those two to get a decent individual score for them to surpass this total.
Or maybe the same business model as Chennai, 6 cameos of 30. Maybe they've got the ability. I mean, you'd back them to get those 6 cameos of 30 because they're batting down to number 8. Whoever, Morris or Tewatia, one of them comes at number 8, which means they can do that. They can have that heist. They're up in terms of their confidence after the win against Delhi. But Chennai just needs the same Deepak Chahar which they had in the last game against Punjab. They need 2, if not 3 wickets in that power play. And otherwise, this is a pretty cruisable kind of target, isn't it?
Yeah. They need to take wickets early. And Chahar has looked the bowler who can get wickets for them early. I mean, I'm saying Chennai could still make this game. And if Chennai wins this game, they'll be papering over their defects. Because there's some deep flaws which they need to think about. But I think Chennai overall has a bowling side that can do it. One of the best things I saw about Rajasthan today, I saw Chris Morris genuinely angry. He was really angry. There was this one which became a 2. And I like anger when in a situation like that, because that means you're really hurting. Yeah. And I think that's a great sign for this Rajasthan team. I see fight, and they aren't a very big side. They aren't a very good side with Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes out. But if they have that fight, they could surprise a couple of teams.
So, Michael, can they get it done? I guess they can only get it done if they take a few wickets in the power play, right? I mean, you're not getting it done otherwise.
Yeah, I've got a sneaky suspicion about Chennai. I just think they may have a few tricks and a few angles that MS will create. As I said, Butler, he's not been in great form. We know with Josh Butler that you can find form pretty quickly. It doesn't take him too long. But I think they're so heavily reliant on Sanju and Josh Butler that Chennai will know you get them inside the first 6, the first 8. It's going to be a very difficult chase.
Seems like, from what we're hearing, is that the dew is not as bad as it was last night, which then again plays into Chennai's hands more than Rajasthan. So, and we don't want that to be dew because you want it to be equal. You don't want the kind of situation where you're literally having to squeeze the water out of the ball towards the end. That's not good at all. That makes the game very unfair for the bowlers. So, well, anyway, calls before we go off. What are you saying? 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 110 minus 10?
50-50.
50-50, wow.
50-50. I'm going Chennai. I'll put my neck on it. I'll say
All
Chennai.
Right. Excellent. So, Michael saying Chennai. Joy?
Chennai.
Advantage.
Chennai. Just too little. I think the batting is there's too little in the batting. They need one of those two guys to hit a big one. The odds are against it because Sanju's just got one. The odds that he'll do it every time is difficult.
Well, there you go. We've all said that this total isn't really sufficient. They should have got more. But this is the Chennai factor. This is the leadership and the tactical factor that makes you think that don't count Chennai out just as yet. Will they be able to do that? It's a hard task for both of them. The target seems fairly gettable, but there is a Chennai tactician standing in the way, which is what is going to make this game so exciting. We're going to be here at the 10-over mark to assess what's going on in this chase, of course, on Cricbuzz Combox, and then we're going to be here at the end of the game. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharjya and Michael Vaughan. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle.